Several of Canada's immigration programs require applicants, foreign nationals, to first understand what their National Occupational Classification code is, their NOC code. And that for many people can be quite confusing. You know, does that have something to do with the duties you'll be performing inside Canada? Or does it have something to do with the title of the job that they'll be holding inside Canada or that they held before? Truth is, it's a combination of all of the above. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer at Goose Law Immigration, where we help companies with their employees' work permits and save them all of the legal hassle. In this video, I want to talk about the job duties and National Occupational Classification Code. When a foreign national wants to apply in Canada for a work permit, or in some instances when they're applying for permanent residency, especially under express entry, they need to indicate that they have performed duties in certain job types, either previously or currently. And the way the government of Canada determines different or organizes different job types is through a system that uses what's called a National Occupational Classification Code. Right? So the National Occupation Classification System generates a code that identifies almost every single type of work inside Canada. And so a foreign national who is wanting to come on a work permit, for instance, and who is making the claim that they have experience in a specific area of work, then the experience that the foreign national has would be compared to the actual stipulated duties that would have been written into the particular NOC type that their work experience aligns with. And so, you know, if you have somebody who has worked as a registered nurse, previously, and they're wanting to come to Canada on a work permit as a registered nurse, there would be a specific national occupational code that's tied to registered nurses inside Canada. And so what that individual would be looking for then is to see whether or not the detailed description that would have been written by the government, as well as the specific job duties that a registered nurse is generally expected to perform in Canada. They would want to see whether or not their own work experience aligns with that. So the National Occupational Code and the listing of duties serves as a kind of a standard that is used to measure other international applicants' work experience. And so there are certain things that a foreign national must have if they're going to have their work experience and their qualifications aligned with a preferred National Occupational Code or job type. They must have performed the general duties that would have been listed in the description of the particular job type. Okay, so the government has, for every job type, so for a registered nurse, there's initially a description of what registered nurses do or generally expected to do inside Canada. And so the foreign national must have performed duties that align with that general description. And then separate and apart from that, there are detailed listed duties that a typical nurse in Canada, registered nurse in Canada, would have been expected to perform. And similarly, the expectation would be that the foreign national would have performed similar duties in their role as a registered nurse. Now, the expectation is not that every foreign national must have performed all and exactly the same duties as indicated in each of the National Occupational Classification codes or job types listed by the government. No, there's not an expectation that you would have performed every single duty. But the general expectation is that the experience you've had and the duties you've performed in the past must more or less align with those that have been prescribed, that have been written into the government's own descriptions. All right, so typically we're looking for anywhere close to 75% or above, a 75% or above match between the overall description of what the person would have done before and also between the duties that the person would have done before and those that are listed on the government's National Occupational Classification site. So that's going to be important. Another important factor is whether or not at the end of the day what's important is the job title or if it's the job duties. That's a struggle that many applicants have. If you have the title of a project manager, is that sufficient, or are the duties what matters? And the truth is that for Canada's immigration purposes, it's really the job duties that matter. The job title oftentimes serves as a cue. It gives us an indication of where to start looking. But ultimately, the true measure will come from the duties, the detailed listing of duties that would have been performed by the foreign national. Those are what are going to be important to the immigration authorities in helping them ascertain whether or not the NOC code that the foreign national has indicated is actually what, in actuality, is what their duties aligns with inside Canada. And so the duties to be performed inside Canada is a crucial part of many immigration applications, especially work permit applications and for some permanent residency applications. All right, I trust you found value from this. As always, remember to like our video so others will see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel so that you'll be notified the next time we publish. And check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.